I want to take the system down. I want to end it. The system doesn't need to be. There's better ways than this. This is designed against us to take our kids, to destroy families. This is not healthy for anybody. People just need to come together and get louder and stop being scared. We just have to stop it. It's not just even a family court, it's just all of it. This has got to change. When's it break, When's the pressure get so much that it just gives? Family court system is trafficking children. People need to know that. Like, really know it. It's what it is. Delilah didn't have a choice. That was against her will.
Right. They show up at people's house and they take them. So grandma can just call.
CPS comes in and just takes them. With whatever allegations they want, they can make up all these different lies.
Yeah.
Because they want to take our kids. They have money on their heads, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a community to raise them, and it takes a community to protect them. So people have to start protecting the kids. You have to. They just don't deserve what's happening to them.
How many times do you think a teacher tells the kid to put on a mask?
Probably
how many of you people have kids in school out there?
If my daughter was home, I would already have pulled her out of school.
Right. My goodness.
I would be homeschooling her. I wouldn't even have her in school at this point.
Right.
If my daughter was home, I would already have pulled her out of school.
Right. It's like, my goodness.
I would be homeschooling her. I wouldn't even have her in school at this point.
Right.
It's a system, and they're part of it. The school system is.
What are you afraid of with your situation coming up? You should finish with this.
7 years. Spending 7 years in jail. That's an easy answer. I know that one. 7 years. So
that scares the hell out of you. And here you are, just a mom trying to have a relationship with your kids.
I'm just a mom. I'm a soul. I'm a spirit. To be trapped for 7 years somewhere for no reason. They want to take my rights from me because I didn't jump when they said.
Yeah. So Angela, tell people what is going on with your case real quick. Give an overview. Ask them for their help, and if there's something they can do, because I'll take this clip that I'm doing right now and we'll shorten it up, and I'll make a clip of it. So go ahead and tell people what's going on your case. Give some dates if you'd like. And really give people a good update as to what has happened in your life.
So a year ago when they took my daughter, things got really crazy. The GAL Zoom call was leaked, and it was these GALs colluding together about a woman with a suit against them, claiming, a lot of the kids for cash fraud with the doctors and like a big RICO thing. And so when this audio leaked, it was the day after the court date on February 10th of 2021, when I was forced into the courtroom under duress to take Delilah there to return her to her dad because she was just refusing to go. We had spoke with the judge 2 different times. She told her 2 different times prior to going there. So we show up, bunch of cops. I go to jail. They arrest me. On the court's own motion, they brought a criminal contempt charge against me. The court moved for that. It wasn't even her dad. The judge just stopped waiting for.
So that would be the local prosecutor and the judge, or the prosecutor getting together saying we're going to do something.
No, this is family court. What prosecutor? This is family court.
So there's no prosecutor. There's no prosecutors involved. This is family court.
At this point, no. This is just.
So this is the thing. Yeah, the whole family court system is almost separate, huh?
Yeah, they don't have prosecutors. You don't get a lawyer assigned to you. They don't follow the rules. There's no due process.
Okay.
So it never makes sense to anybody.
Interesting.
That's how they gaslight you. They give you no due process, and they just make up and do whatever.
Wow.
And then you're just thinking you're crazy.
Right.
They want you to think that anyway.
Okay.
So she, on her own motion, the judge moved the court to charge me with criminal contempt. The court usually doesn't move on its own motions, I would move the court or he would move the court to do something. And they're just there to, dictate and whatever. They don't usually do this. So she had something against me. I mean, it was plain. It was obvious. And so she moves, I go. She doesn't trick me, but she tells me that if I bring Delilah in, she'll drop the charge. Well, she didn't drop the charge. She arrested me in front of my daughter. And then because my daughter still refused after I was arrested, she put her in the mental ward. They locked her up in the mental ward and started drugging her. I'm in jail. I get out begging them to tell me where she was. Like, give me an update. Let me talk to her. They weren't going to let me talk to her or anything. But they were charging my insurance. What do you think about that one? I was the one paying the bill, and finally they give me phone calls. But then 23 days later, well, they have an informal hearing and they don't inform me of this. And Delilah has no representation. Like, so she was not even no one there to represent her, but her dad, and that he wasn't making good choices. They take her after 23 days and give her to a third party, this uncle she barely knows, and ships her out to Arizona. And then March 31st, she calls me and tells me they're moving her, and the phone gets disconnected. He hangs up on me, and she hasn't called home since. To this day, she hasn't called home.
And the last time you saw her was in court this summer.
Yeah, when I got arrested, when I got cuffed and walked out of there in front of her. Like, how traumatizing can that be? I'm the only one that's ever kept her safe, and here I am getting carted away and not able to keep her safe.
And,
now what does she think?
And it was all because you wrote an email to a judge.
Not yet. An email hadn't come yet.
Okay, what was that? What were they arresting you for then?
Because contempt of court, because Delilah wouldn't go back with her dad.
Okay, I got you.
This is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
We were not free to live our lives. I couldn't make decisions. We couldn't make choices. We were not living.
Yeah.
They were living our lives, like telling us what we could do. We became at the judge's mercy. Like, if she would allow us to do that, I wanted to take her to Singapore. They wouldn't let me. Why should I stop an opportunity like that because of the court? And
what are you feeling today, January 5th, 2022? The last time you talked to your daughter that we heard from your daughter was in court after she went to counseling, and they convinced her that you need help, that you need medicine, that you need counseling, that you need this and you need that. How do you feel?
More gaslighting, more isolation. I'm heartbroken for her that she's had to go through this. Never did I think letting her stand up for herself in that courtroom would have gotten her in this position where she can't even call me or won't, or I don't know what's going on, I just don't see her pulling, a 180 on me like that. Like, that's my daughter. Why would she turn against me? Why would she not want to talk to me or even call home to say hi or Merry Christmas or get a Christmas present?
Right.
Like, she didn't even call home with a Christmas list.
Oh, you mean, yeah, you get. You know
what I mean? She didn't
be
call
excited
home
about Christmas.
My kid doesn't call home for Christmas and say, hey, Mom, I want some new Doc Martens or whatever, Like, she didn't even do that. So who's making her afraid to call me? What are they doing? What are they telling her? Where is she? Because they told me she's in Montana. Is she in Montana? I have no way I don't have any solid proof of that other than they tell me, the courts told me, but they wouldn't tell me where she was for 10 months. They refused to tell me where she was.
What's your latest thought or memory of a certain name? You could name names if you want, but anybody within the experience of the judicial system, that stands out, that really irked you, and you're very, are you upset at any particular?
They all irked me. Kathleen Shaw with her fraud upon the court and trying to rile me up in court in front of the judge one time. And just, she really bothers me because she knows what she's doing and James can't do it without her. So she takes advantage of both sides of that coin, because she's winning either way. She's going to win. She's going to make money. It doesn't matter which way she goes. They're either throwing you in the pit or pulling you out of the pit. They don't care as long as they're doing it. And it's being done to you. It's, she was pinning my daughter and her dad just against them. Like, Delilah really started to hate her dad at one point, and now look where she's at because this woman kept filing court documents against me, pro se, and wouldn't treat me fairly, wouldn't follow the rules, their rules, not even my rules. They were theirs, and they wouldn't even follow them. Committing fraud.
Yeah. And what would be your...
And barratry, man. They can create chaos to keep the money flow.
Mhm. What's your goal in terms of changing the system? How do you think, is there something that you think you can do?
I want to take the system down. I want to end it. The system doesn't need to be. There's better ways than this. This is designed against us to take our kids, to destroy families. This is not healthy for anybody. There's healthier ways. Like we were talking the other night, the justice circles. They already do them in the criminal side of the law. It would be perfect for the family court. Why don't they do it in family court? Because it wouldn't generate the money they're generating now. Because it would work. Families wouldn't be separated and torn apart. They would be like healed and moving on with their different lives as much as you can do, because a lot of people have a lot of healing. So it's going to take time. I mean, they're really messing people up. What are these kids going to be like? How are they going to parent?
Mm-hmm.
How is my daughter going to be a mom, or what kind of mom will she be if she's watching this narcissistic woman that basically kidnapped her? This is the second time now. They kidnapped her before.
So the movie Gaslight is, here's a good scenario. We're going to end with that. Is a young woman moves back into the house with her new husband. However, he has a secret, and what does the government have? Secrets, right?
Lots of them.
Secret agents, intelligence, secrets. And then it says here, however, the husband has a secret that he'll do anything to protect. Doesn't that sound just like the government? And even if it means to drive his wife insane.
Well, they have to tell us what they're doing, and they do it by these movies. This is a great movie for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just so you know what you're doing, so, it's okay that they do it.
Yeah. So you have a court date coming up, a hearing on this stupid threat that they're saying you made.
Well, I have family court still again. We're still in trial at the end of January. And then in April, I have trial for the criminal charge.
Tell people what your passion is, why you're doing what you plan to do the next year or so to help this cause. Do you see any hope? And what would you like people to do for you to help? Well,
I didn't see myself being here doing this, that's for sure. So, my dream was to buy a hot springs and go make a resort. That's where my head was. And then family court has me in a totally different direction now. Now I'm just about the kids. Like, if I can't save my kid, we have to save the other ones. Like, this cannot continue. So my fight is just to end this stuff. We have a really good chance here in St. Louis with the leaked GAL call, with the coverage on my story, with what we know. We can prove it if we could just get the families to actually come together as a whole, and it's hard because people focus so much on their one case. So, but if they can pull themselves out and come and work on just the case that we have here in St. Louis to take the system out, to have people answer for what they've done, we have a really good chance to do that if people would start actually coming forward and pulling together and really start fighting the court about what they're doing, because it's blatant and they're destroying these little girls. Most of the stories I know are little girls and they're with their rapist. Like, what sense does that make?
And makes no sense. And
it makes none.
So continued activism and getting the word out. So would you encourage, other people to come on, like our programs, for instance? What would you tell them, what are the benefits of coming on? And for yourself, what's been the benefits for coming on?
Heal.
Media.
You tell your story.
Yeah.
You tell your story. You get to meet people that have similar stories that can relate. And so you trauma bond, but it's healing, you get to actually not lose your mind. It keeps from the gaslighting working, because you're not alone. Because a lot of people think they're alone and they're afraid to talk, but you have to. If it's happened to you, you got to step forward. We have to stop it. There's just no way it can continue on. The damage to humanity would be too terrible.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Angela, thank you. It's been a good show, I think. And I hope you have a good afternoon, everyone. And Angela, we'll see you next time. And make sure y'all go to infowinnewnews.com and check it all out. And keep in touch with us.